Mike's Daily Podcast.
Okay. I'm Mike Matthews. It's Friday. Yay. Well, you ever have one of those weeks where nobody behaves the way they should? They all act erratically and strange. I'm talking about the people that you deal with. Isn't that fun? That's just great. So, hi, I'm Mike Matthews, broadcasting from Cafe Anyway, located somewhere in Podcastro Valley,
Mike's Daily Podcast.
The last place on earth. Today we have reached episode 1708 and
Mike's Daily Podcast
1708. Oh, hey, let's check what is on my Facebook. It's a notification, so let's go take a look. It's nobody. But I have memories, and I look back on them now, and I go, jeez. 2 years ago, I had a show called Bats.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Bats. Oh, and I had a picture of Full of Beans, which was a little coffee place.
Mike's
which I heard finally
Daily
closed up
Podcast
in Ventura County.
Yeah!
It was near the beach at the end of Seaward by the Sea. Seaward is this little street, and it ends at the ocean, ends at the beach in Ventura. And there was this little place called Full of Beans, and there was a bald guy that used to run the place named Ray, and he, in fact, was invited to my wedding. And he drove all... Nothing like a boring story to be ended by a large sneeze.
Excuse me!
The wonderful Steve Martin. Look who walked in. Hello, my commercials, Madame Rootabega, and I dated some Stephen Martin. Oh, you did? Back when he was cute? Of course! Back when he was young, even though he prematurely grayed. And he was King Tut, Funky Tut. Look who else walked in.
Hello there, Mike. This is Valentino, the parking attendant. Wait for it.
And this is Bison Bentley. Do you know that? Bison Bentley has driven right into Cafe Anyway. Oh, the sadness of it.
Anyway.
Cafe Anyway. Yeah, Steve Martin. What were we talking about?
And here's today's podcast picture.
I sneezed and I completely lost my... 2 more subscribers! 482! Yeah! I want to thank the bots so much for signing up for this Basil!
Shall we play a game?
No bots, not right now. And no, Basil, we can't play at the moment. All right, we'll play a little bit. All right, that's good. Yay. When I go to some places now, and I go, oh, I remember, you just can't do that. It's tough. When you go to some of the parks, I've walked Basil a lot around the Bay Area. And I'll go now to some places that I used to walk him, and we don't go that far anymore. We just go maybe a half of the way or a fourth of the way, you know, and it's sad. But that's something. Yesterday I also had to deal with. There was this, what do you call it? These bars that I used to do pull-ups on at the park, and there was this really high bar that I used to be able to jump up and grab. And now, if I jump up and grab it, when I come back down and I hit my feet, oh, it's not good because, you know, I've had all kinds of foot issues. So I can't do that anymore. And that's life. There's all kinds of things you just can't do anymore the older you get. And you can't dwell on it, but it's hard not to, isn't it? Ugh. Life. And, I'm not going to say getting old sucks because getting old can be great. Memories is a pretty... memories are awesome. Little kids, they don't have memories. That's why they got to fill it up with these video games, and they got to watch all these movies, because they don't have experiences yet, so they got to experience it through other people. Perhaps you're a young person listening to this show because you haven't experienced anything yet. But now you're going to go and play a video game, or eat some candy.
Mango like candy.
And that's how that's how life is experiences and memories and our brains. And our brains are fascinating. And our brains get mad at things like a bunch of red frickin' lights. Let me ask you this question. Okay, I know I've talked about Mission Boulevard at length, ad nauseum. But Mission Boulevard, and this is my mission in life, is to tell you about Mission Boulevard in the East Bay. There's probably a Mission Boulevard wherever you live, if you live outside of California. There seems to be or unless you live in a state that never had missions where these things in California, these big temples that honored Jesus and Catholics and Father Sarah and enslaved Native American peoples, what basically they were little communist compounds. And oh boy, we honor the crap out of them here in California. Oh, it's Mission blah blah blah. It's Mission anyway. It's Mission. Is there a Mission anyway?
Anyway.
No. Well.
Oh my.
Sacrilege. There's a bunch of them. Anywho, the point is, you drive up Mission Boulevard in the East Bay, and I go from Castro Valley down to Castro Valley 10 every day. And down in Fremont. Okay, Fremont, the lights, they can be a pain. Castro Valley, the lights, not so bad. But and Hayward, it's somewhat all right. South Hayward. You get to frickin', and I've used frickin', I'm going to use frickin' about 300 more time today. In Union City. What is your problem, Union City? Why is it your Mission Boulevard in Union City, every light turns red? As soon as you're coming up to it, it turns red. And it's like you don't even have time to think of gunning it. You just have to slam on your brakes. They just all turn red. They are a-hole lights in Union City. Who's the mayor of Union City? I'm going to type that into my computer device here at Cafe Anyway right now. As soon as I can find Bing. Because I still get points on Bing. Ooh, what's this picture? Ooh, my. The Imagine Peace Tower near Reykjavik, Iceland for the International Day of Peace. And here I am, so full of anti-peace at the moment. Anti-peace towards Union City. Friggin' Union City. But yes, show a little peace today to your loved one. Why do I have my keyboard clear across the room? This is annoying. Oh, so Bert and Ernie are gay? Was that a surprise to anyone? Let's see. What am I typing in? Oh, Union City Mayor, California. Let's see if we get anything. Okay, we got Union Mayor, Mayor Carol Dutra Vermachi, a lifetime Union City resident. Has worked for the last 30 years as an income tax professional. Oh my God. Is that who's running the city? Is that why the lights turn a-hole red every 5 seconds? What a... Ugh. Carol, get it together, Carol. Dang it. Oh, I had a dream last night. And I don't dream during the week usually because I get up at 4. But my lovely lady friend said, you're going to bed at 8. So I got to bed at 9. Close enough. And I dreamt I was somewhere. I was like at a new radio station. I was working at a new radio station job, but the radio station equipment was super old, and the building was rickety, and the windows, the rooms were all like just. It looked like something out of the Old West. And this one guy, I think the program director, he asked me, "Hey, do you like Patti Loveless?" And I go, "Yeah, Patti Loveless." And I start to sing. Blame it on your lying, cheating, cold mistreating, two-time and double dealing, mean mistreating, loving heart. In my dream. And I just remember that about Patti Loveless. So one of the things, she has a song called, I Try to Think About Elvis, Memphis, sousaphones and saxophones, I try to think about... And one of the lines in that song, she goes, come on, Patti, get it together. So get it together, Carol. Crap. Oh, I get a text from my neighbor down the street asking me if I am teaching a apple class, an apple class. And I laughed, and she sent me the thing she saw on the computer screen that said, join Mike Matthews' Apple class. It's at one of the Apple stores. And I wrote her back, I go, hell no, I hate Apple. I like apples. In fact, I was so blessed to have apple trees start growing just on their own, voluntarily, in my backyard. And my neighbor said, oh, I love Apple. We can't be friends anymore. And I wrote her back, I go, maybe you can help me with my piece of crap iPhone. Because it sucks. I hate iPhones. I hate Apple. I hate all the freaking hoops you got to jump through for stupid Apple. You got to do it their way or no way at all. Lover boy. You got to do it your way or no way at all. And that was my little singing. My lady friend and I were singing so many 80s songs yesterday. It all started with, I can't get to sleep. I think about the complications of getting in too deep. It's all overkill. Day after day it appears. Night after night. It's like Men at Work did that song. Men at Work, everybody knows Down Under, but Overkill. Oh. Ghosts appear and fade away. And then they also had a song off that same album, It's a Mistake. It's a Mistake. That was their second big album. The first one had Down Under and Who Can It Be Now? Colin Hay, who is related to Sia. Baby, I don't have dollar bills. We'll have fun tonight. I hope you have fun tonight. To my point, here at Cafe NAOA as we go outside of it, somewhere in Podcastro Valleymont. Right next to stupid Union City and Mayor Carroll. Ugh! Get it together, Mayor Carroll. So my point is that some guy is teaching an Apple class named Mike Matthews, and it's the funniest thing, because I hate it. I enjoyed nachos on my way to Lake Merritt. I neglected to mention that. When I went to Lake Merritt, my lovely lady friend works down there, and she gave me a ride with the wonderful Basil the Boxer. And I told you all about that on the last show, the Lake Merritt episode, the Mike excursion that I took down there with Basil, and I had some nachos on the way. There's nothing like making nachos, putting them on a plate, and eating them in a car as you drive to Oakland. Try it sometime. It's fun. I like nachos, but let me tell you, nachos are not that healthy. Although I was using the flaxseed tortilla chips, and that might have helped. The avocado's good for you. And instead of sour cream, I used yogurt. I hope you enjoyed that little recipe that I had for you today. Was it
Awesome.
I don't know why I just played the Mad Men theme, but there you go. I hope you enjoyed that recipe. I am so annoyed, and I thankfully don't have to see this guy this weekend. I get so annoyed by this guy's questions, and if he's listening to this right now, he's going to do something like take this clip, and he's going to send an email out and do some passive-aggressive idiocy with it. But yeah, he likes to tell me all about his things that he's doing, and he's a very productive guy. He does a lot of stuff. He apparently has interviewed James Earl Jones in the past month. He apparently has, I don't know, interviewed God in the past month, and I'm happy for him. And what I don't get is, well, you know, the thing is, people like to tell, and he's listened to enough of my podcast where I've complained about him to know that I know he brags too much. He talks too much about himself when I see him. He's like, well, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. But the thing is, he doesn't. I ask him. It's my issue. I ask him, you know, what are you doing? What are you up to? And then, of course, he's got this litany of stuff that he's done because he doesn't sleep. He can't get to sleep. He thinks about the complications. So that's his mission in life, is to do every possible thing. But the one annoying thing that he does that really annoys me is he asks me stupid personal questions that always lead to some kind of undercutting, some kind of one-upmanship. Like he'll ask me about my ex-wife, because he met her years ago. Or he'll ask me about my girlfriend that I have now. And, I just don't give him any answers. I just clam up. I go, yeah, things are great. I don't say anything. He'll ask me like a stupid questions. He just socially awkward. But that's how it is. Some people just have this way about them that they say things and you go, wait, what? He just said what?
I could stand in the middle of Fifth Avenue and shoot somebody and I wouldn't lose any voters, okay? It's like incredible.
And it just makes you go, why are people acting the way they do? Why are people doing things? Why are they being unpredictable, irascible, irrational, inconceivable? That's the question that I started off the show with. And I guess I'm wrapping it up with. I don't know if I'm going to do a Super Secret Sunday show this weekend. We'll see how it goes. I did record somebody. I recorded someone for their show. I'd never record this particular person for their show. And oh my gosh, it was like a whole ball of unpredictability. And this person usually is very nice, very kind. And apparently this person gives out money to people that don't usually do her, or sometimes do. I don't know. I didn't get any money. All I got was a bunch of grief and weirdness. And would I much rather prefer to have, I don't know, nachos or Doctor Who documentaries? I love watching those and seeing the awful teeth. There was once the BBC had this character called the Dalek. The Dalek. D-A-L-E-K, I think is how it's spelled. Hugely popular. Imagine when I was a kid, R2-D2 was popular, and the Dalek was basically the precursor to the R2-D2. This rolling trash can with cool little lights on it. It had a laser, and it killed people. And kids loved it. And it went from England, kind of got popular here in America, but that was the big thing for Doctor Who. Well, the guy that created the Dalek said to the BBC, no more. I own this. I think his name was Terry Nation. He said, forget it. No more. I'm taking this with me. And you guys can't have it. And so when he said the words,
No more!
The BBC said, that's fine. We'll make our own new menacing deadly robot called a Quark. And the Quark was like a robot, box thing with a round head that had spikes sticking out of it. And it was small, and they had little kids operating them. And they were these deadly little robots, and they hoped they were going to be the next big thing. And the BBC actually had a toy manufacturer make up a bunch of them to sell them. And they were just ridiculous. And they had a horrible... The Dalek had a exterminate voice, but the Quarks had this weird voice that nobody liked. And one thing I didn't know, the very first Doctor, William Hartnell, I didn't realize he was prejudiced. Because there was a member in one of the actors in his last episode that he did before he quit the show was African American and actually from Bermuda. And William Hartnell had like all these issues with him. Didn't talk to him. Kind of was, what's he doing here? So that was sad. And a lot of actors that worked with him on that episode say in this one documentary, yeah, that was the sad thing about William Hartnell. But geez, the teeth. Scary. All right, that's the end of the show. Next show, we will have the wonderful Chely Shoehart, Floyd the Floorman, and John Deere, the engineer. Thank you for listening. We'll talk to you soon, hopefully. Woo! That's my mission anyway. And that was episode 1708, it's great.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at mikesdailypodcast.com. Email Mike now at mikesdailypodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye!
Whoop, I got to the end of the show without showing you the podcast picture. It is of nachos. No. It's actually of a riverboat that I was on. I mentioned it on an earlier podcast when I went to Florida last month. And there was this cool riverboat we were on, my mom and I, on the St. Johns River. And you can see one of the little bit of the paddle wheel there. It's a cool picture. Check it. Check. Is this on? It's at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com. Go there now, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and you can subscribe to the show. Be 483, and that's at MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com, and all the links to all the social media where you can find the show, MIKEs-DAILY-PODCAST.com.